Okay, this is 2.3. Solve inequalities using multiplication and division. Goal of the day is going to be solve inequalities using multiplication and division, and we had done this before, just a little bit in 2.2. Thing we need to remember, and a lot of you guys that were in person were able to tell me this, the inequality symbol changes. Oops. I'm just going to put in parentheses. It flips when multiplying or dividing by a negative number. The inequality symbol changes. It flips when multiplying or dividing by a negative number. I'm going to look at an example here. All examples actually, and I'm going to take the same inequality and I'm going to look at it two different ways. So I'm going to write it twice here. Negative 3x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 0. And I am going to take that exact inequality and rewrite it over there. And we're just going to solve this two different ways. Because I have to isolate my variable on one side or the other of the inequality, when I look at this, I would probably choose to move this first, just because I'm reading it left to right, but I could absolutely move that 6 over first. And remember, going back and forth over the equal sign, I use inverse operations. I'm going to go right to left, so I'm going to work with my variable first. I will add 3x. That takes care of that. 6 is greater than or equal to 3x. I would divide both sides by 3. 2 is greater than or equal to x. And then I would want to order this relation, which means I want my variable on the left. X then is on the left, and I would flip my sign here. It's pointing at the x. I want it pointing to the x here. X is less than or equal to 2. This is what we're looking for with this answer. And that's what I say when I say, that's what I mean when I say ordering the relation. I want the variable and the inequality on the left. I'm going to do the exact same way on this problem. I am going to move this time, though, the 6 over. Exact same thought process, just moving a different term, which means my negative 3x would stay. That goes away. When I divide by a negative now, I've got x being multiplied by a negative 3. You need to divide by a negative 3, and when you divide an inequality by a negative number, my sign changes. It flips. First thing I always do is write my inequality symbol going the opposite way. Negative 6 divided by negative 3, positive 2, and you can see that you get the exact same thing. One of them we had to flip the sign, the inequality symbol. One of them we did not, but we did have to order it to get the exact same inequality to finish up. We are just going to look at 4 example problems here. X divided by 8 is greater than or equal to -5. X is being divided by 8, or this is like 1/8 x. Dividing by 8 is like multiplying by 1/8. X divided by 8. To undo that division, I would multiply both sides by 8. Those divide into each other. X. Do I switch my sign here? Well, I'm multiplying by a +8. That's what dictates if I change my sign or not because I'm multiplying by a -5. My sign would stay the same. It stays the same because I am not multiplying or dividing by a negative number here. This 5 is negative, but that's not what I'm multiplying by. I'm multiplying by 8. -5 times 8 would give me a -40, and I'm done. -24, greater than or equal to 3x. X is being multiplied by 3. I would divide both sides by 3. My inequality symbol again stays the same because I am not multiplying or dividing by a negative. This 3 is positive. That leaves me with a -8, greater than or equal to x. And again, I would want to order this relation, which means I would flip it. X then is less than or equal to -8. My relation is ordered, and I can box that in. Those 2 examples, notice, sign stays the same because I did not multiply or divide by a negative. Whoops. 2 is less than x divided by -3. What's the difference here? Then up here, now we are dividing by a negative number, so I multiply both sides of the inequality by that same negative number. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. Because I am multiplying by that -3, my inequality symbol flips. So this less than now becomes greater than. -3 times 2 is -6. Those divide into each other's greater than x. -6 is greater than x, and I want to order that relation with my x over here. X is less than -6. Last example. -7y is less than or equal to, and we'll say -35. Y is being multiplied by -7. I divide by -7, and I am dividing by negative, and I have my inequality symbol, and now I know that when I multiply or divide by a negative number, my inequality symbol changes. It flips. This less than or equal to becomes greater than or equal to. -7 divided by 7, a +1. -35 divided by a -7, a +5. That relation is ordered, and I'm done. And yes, you will be doing multi-step equation or inequalities with these, but thing to remember in 2-3, when you multiply or divide by a negative number, your inequality symbol changes. It flips.